Hey guys, this episode's going to be a little bit different because apparently when I recorded the video, my microphone was not being picked up by OBS at all, and I don't know why, so this episode is going to be different because I'm going to be doing a voiceover. So if it seems a little weird or shorter than usual, it's because I'm not really used to doing a voiceover. And there's a good reason I don't do voiceovers, and it's because I have not been too great at them. So anyway guys, I hope this turns out great, and I hope to see you in the video. Hey guys, the first thing we need to do this episode is head over to Burbank City where we can get our next encounter and fight the Burbank City gym leader Roxy. But before we can make our way to Burbank City, we need to defeat the mighty gatekeeper of Route 20.
Hiker Jerome.
Hiker Jerome's terrifying level 12 Riolu threatens us with a devastating non-stab foresight, so we have to be very careful this fight or we may have to sack half of our team. Luckily, we were lucky enough to get a lucky 5-hit double slap on our Skill Link Minchino, which luckily has the hidden ability Skill Link, which allows for the user to hit the max amount of times with multi-hit moves such as double slap on a Skill Link Minchino. Whoever gets a Pokemon with Skill Link is very lucky to have such a great ability. How fortuitous! Unfortunately, we encounter another obstacle when two terrorists block our way to the city. This used to be a nice neighborhood. Fortunately, the terrorists were ill-prepared, bringing only 2 Sunkerns instead of their usual iconic Zekrom and Reshiram, respectively. This guy showed me his balls.
Fortnite balls, I'm gay.
We finally make our way to Burbank City, where we get another special shop that we can check out. While we're there, we decide to pick up a silk scarf, which we're going to be giving to Dragonov. Next, we can pick up a few more items before we get our next encounter. We can pick up a power weight, a heart scale, and a timer ball. Next, we can get our Burbank Complex encounter, which I decided to go for the Shaking Grass for because it would have a higher base stat total. And we were lucky enough to encounter a Lantern. Future Miltank here to say that due to demand, I will be taking a quick moment after catching each Pokemon to show you what you would typically want in said Pokemon stat-wise. And that there may be some form of this in future series, but it'll be a bit different since this series has random stats on each Pokemon. Let me know in the comments if y'all like or hate this idea, and if I need to change something. Anyway, enjoy the video and subscribe! Lantern, a water electric type that is a very useful Pokemon for Nuzlocke and has even seen some competitive play. Its usefulness mainly comes from its first ability, Volt Absorb. Volt Absorb allows Lantern to negate an electric attack and restore its health to 1/4 of its max HP. Some fun facts about Volt Absorb is that from Gen 4 onwards, it also negates electric status moves such as Thunder Wave, and if a multi-strike move is turned into an electric type move, it only activates the ability once. Volt Absorb activation also takes priority over Cell Battery activation. Sorry to all of you Cell Battery enthusiasts. Lantern also has the hidden ability Water Absorb, which does the same as Volt Absorb but with water type moves instead. This makes it a great counter for water types. Although its ability is its main draw, it also has a good typing in water and electric, and has a decent stat lineup as well. Its high base HP, along with its decent special defense, allow it to take special hits well. It also has a good special attack stat that allows it to hit for decent damage with moves such as Surf, Scald, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, or Discharge. To wrap up, Lantern is a great Pokemon that usually has a spot on any Nuzlocker's team. Thankfully, we were able to catch the Lantern, and we named it Leslie. Leslie the Lantern. I mean, it just slips right off the tongue. As you can see, Leslie is a speedy attacker leaning more towards physical attack, but it has a very respectable special attack as well. We do need to be careful, however, since it's very frail due to its poor defensive stats. Its Hypercutter ability isn't the greatest ability it could have gotten, but it's not too bad since we can't have our attack lowered at all. And while we're here, we were able to pick up a random TM which turned out to be Bullet Punch, which is great for us. And we ended up teaching Bullet Punch to T-Swizzle and Ice Ice Baby, which not only gives us some type coverage, but also gives us priority moves, which is always great. Next, I decided we'd take Leslie for somewhat of a test drive against the trainers in the gym. And, you know, Leslie just leveling up looks like a great Pokemon. I mean, just a great speedy attacker, so I'm hoping she stays with us for a while. And we were right about Leslie because in her first battle, I mean, she's doing half to a Grimer. Now, I know it's random stats, but I mean, that's still pretty respectable damage with a water gun at least. And she does have the wave incense or the sea incense, whichever one it is. But yeah, and then next I believe, yeah, coughing comes in, and coughing, like, does it get one shot? Nearly. I mean, doesn't get one shot, but I mean, it still took a lot of damage. I won't bore you with the next battle because she had pretty much the same Pokemon, and it went pretty much the same way. Leslie just two-shot both of her Pokemon, and that was the end of it. Okay, so we're at Roxy, and I got everybody up to level cap, which is level 19, which I'm hoping it's level 19 because, you know, the documentation isn't always the most accurate, especially with challenge mode. But yeah, I believe we're the correct level, and this fight, surprisingly, like, I've never had trouble with Roxy, but this fight just, oh my god, it beat me down a little. It was scary, I'm not gonna lie. Just watch. Okay, so I know she's gonna lead with coughing, and I figure, well, you know, Lantern, or Leslie rather, has been able to deal with coughings pretty well so far. I mean, it's really, if it's not broke, why fix it? So we decided to lead with Leslie here. And we don't even do half with a water gun, which is new. I mean, Leslie's been two-shotting everything. But after the water gun, Leslie gets hit with a somewhat strong Venoshock, and I don't want to risk the crit or a high roll, so I switch out into Pierce the Veil, which eats a Venoshock and an Assurance. But Pierce the Veil seems to really be eating the hits, so we decide to stay in and whittle down coughing with Nightshades, which does work out pretty well for us, since it doesn't really hit us for much in return. Its best move is Assurance, but thankfully it outspeeds us, so it doesn't get the double damage from Assurance moving last, and we were able to get the KO on the coughing. After we KO her coughing, Roxy actually brings in her Grimer, and we swap back out into Leslie. And Leslie ends up eating a Venoshock, but Grimer does not seem to be very good at attacking, so we're able to eat it pretty well and hit back with a water gun while also taking another Venoshock. And the following turn is exactly the same, but really I should not have risked the crit here. Like, we could have lost Leslie, but we do end up KOing the Grimer the next turn. So next in comes her Whirlipede. But unfortunately, since Leslie's so low, we do have to swap out, and something has to come in and eat the hit. And we do bring in Dragonov. And usually don't really have to worry about this Whirlipede, since its strongest move is Venoshock. But you know, since the stats are random, it actually ends up having what I assume is a pretty decently high special attack if it's doing that much to a Clefable, or a Clefairy rather. So at this point, I'm kind of panicking because Clefairy is our most specially bulky Pokemon, and it just took nearly half from a Venoshock, and Whirlipede is probably going to outspeed most of my Pokemon. And we just have nothing to really hit back with except for T-Swizzle, which we do switch into after hitting an Encore, which actually saved this fight. And you know what? We just gotta hope and spam double slaps. And if I wasn't worrying before, as soon as I see that it has a Citrus Berry and that it healed a quarter of its HP back, I'm thinking that I'm about to lose the run to Roxy, of all people, the second gym leader. And, you know, I'm just freaking out at this point because it all comes down to T-Swizzle, for a deathless fight at least. And as you see, we just keep like chipping away with double slap, and luckily we do get a crit that brings the Whirlipede into red, so it should just be one more turn. And oh my god, like T-Swizzle almost dies there, which, I mean, thank god we are dodging crits. But imagine my shock. We finally get the thing down to red, and it super potions up to near full. And you can just tell by the intense look on my face that I'm freaking out. I'm about to lose some Pokemon, but we do end up killing, which is amazing. Like, that could have taken a couple Pokemon, but we got through Deathless, and we were able to beat Roxy and get our second badge. And no, the audio is not messed up here. There's just no music after you beat Roxy. Like, it confused me too while I was editing this. I thought now I've just lost the game audio in addition to my voice. But yeah, now she gives us our badge, and we even get a TM, which ends up being Power Swap, which is just completely useless. I don't know if it's ever had a use competitively nor any ever. But luckily we do get to the most fun part of our playthrough, where we get to make a movie. And you know what? Jokes aside, I'm gonna be skipping it because I don't want to do it, and y'all definitely don't want to see it. So yeah, we're not putting this in the video. So we're gonna cut ahead to when we get on the boat. And I lied, we skipped the boat and now we're just in Castelia City, which this Harlequin actually gives us our bike, which is gonna be great for us because that means we can get around faster, which, I mean, who doesn't want to do that? Which, now that we're in Castelia City, we can actually go to the new special mart, which gives us some special items that we can get. But apparently I don't do that here. I just walk right past it and go straight to the gym, which unfortunately, you know, if you've played the game before, you know Berg isn't here. He's off doing Arceus knows what, and he's got this like 10-year-old girl looking out for him. I don't know what her deal is, but Berg tends to run away from his gym a lot. I mean, I believe that was the case in the first game as well. And he even has a house in whatever it's called, I can't remember. Nakreen City, that's it. But anyway, yeah, we have to go find Berg now, which works in our favor because on our search to look for him, we can get 2 more Pokemon, which I'm hoping are gonna be really good. But I already know what they are because this is a voiceover. So, you know what, I know and you don't. But now we're finally at the part where we go back and actually check the special shop, which they do have an expert belt, which is, you know, that's always a great item. But other than that, I mean, there's really not much we can use. We don't have a Duskull, we don't have a Screen Setter, we don't have a Clamperl. Not that I want a Clamperl, that's for sure. But yeah, we just don't have much use for anything besides expert belt, but it's a bit too expensive right now. So yeah, we can just head straight to our next encounter, which finding the encounter took so long that I actually started second guessing myself about if I could find a singles encounter here without teaming up with Hugh. But we actually do eventually find an encounter, and it turns out to be a Jigglypuff, which, you know, Jigglypuff, even on a good day, it's not a good Pokemon. There's no beating around the bush. Wigglytuff is a shit Pokemon, and I'm going over Wigglytuff over Jigglypuff because if Wigglytuff is shit, then what is Jigglypuff? I'll tell you what, definitely not better. And I say that it's shit because it has peaked in you. The best it's ever done is in you. You know what NU stands for? Never used. You know what its second best ever is? PU. You know what PU stands for? Polyurethane. It doesn't even get a real name. However, that's not even the saddest part about Wigglytuff. Those PU and NU days were its glory years. You know where it's been for the past 12 years? It's been in ZU. You know what ZU stands for? Zero used, which is weird that ZU stands for something and PU doesn't. But I mean, I guess PU was a pun, so I mean, I guess there you go. But Wigglytuff really doesn't have much going for it. I mean, it has 2 main things going for it, and then 3 if you're really desperate. The first thing is its high base HP stat of 140. I mean, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, the rest of its stats are terrible, so it doesn't see much usage. The second thing it has going for it is its great moveset. I mean, it gets Toxic, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Psychic, Stealth Rocks, etc. And if you're really desperate, it gets Frisk as an ability, so you can know your opponent's item, which, I mean, that's just, you're really reaching for something there. Overall, it's a mid at best Pokemon, and, you know, it's really never used. So, yeah. So we do end up catching the Jigglypuff here, which we do name Guildmaster, which is a bit of a Pokemon Dungeons Explorers of Time reference. And, you know, usually it's not that great, but it does have something we don't have right now, and that is a good special defensive Pokemon. And it also grants us a fire immunity, which, you know, an immunity is always something you want on a Pokemon. And actually, while we were on our way to find Berg, we actually picked up an Eviolite, which, if you don't know, it grants a 1.5 times boost to an unevolved Pokemon's physical and special defense stat, which I mean is just great. It's probably about as good as leftovers or a choice item at this point in the game. And we do actually decide to give it to Pierce the Veil here because I just figured it's our most defensive Pokemon, so we might as well make it even more bulky. Anyway, we do actually have a fight here with two Team Plasma Grunts, and you know, it's not really much of an issue. It is a double battle, which can make it a little difficult. But yeah, I mean, they just have a Scraggy and a Sandile, which, I mean, hey, if it was a Crocodile and a Scrafty, it might be a little difficult. But no, we end up cleaning house with Leslie and, of course, Hugh's Servine. Yeah, it really wasn't much of a fight, but it actually did give us enough XP on Leslie to level up, and you know, with level 20, we actually learned Spark, which is amazing for Leslie. Not usually for a Lantern, but since Leslie has, you know, a high physical attack, I mean, that's better than Thundershock, so, I mean, this is just a great move. And of course, while we're down here, we do find Berg. He was just hiding out in the sewer for some reason. I don't know what this guy was doing down here, but you know what, I don't really want to know. And we do get the HM for Strength also, which is a great normal type move for us. Also, this weird scientist was here in the sewer. I don't know why everybody's in the sewer today. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like a cool, I don't know, maybe a rave's going on down here. I really couldn't tell you. Anyway, we do end up going to this little Castelia City grassy center. I really don't know what it's called. I mean, it's technically just Castelia City. But yeah, we can get another encounter here, and I'm going for the rustling grass like I've done before to get Leslie, because I'm thinking if we got a good Pokemon like Leslie, then surely we can get another good Pokemon. Also, I didn't mention it, but we did just get a magnet for Leslie, which is going to be great. And we get our rustling grass encounter, and it's a Bayonet, which Bayonet usually isn't that bad. I mean, it doesn't really see much usage that I can think of. But I mean, every time I've used it, it's been pretty decent. I mean, it's been like the second or third best Pokemon on my team whenever it's on my team, so. Did that get you? I hope it did. But let's not waste any more time, because this Bayonet sprite is freaking the hell out. And honestly, it scares me. Competitively, the best it's ever done is Inu in Gen 4, so what, 20 years ago? And you know, that's really because it just has such a poor move pool. Like, its stats are bad, but not the worst. Like, they're better than Wigglytuff, but you know, it's just the move pool weighs it down. Bayonet really isn't used as a sweeper since it's outclassed by Pokemon like Mismagius, and it's not really used as a Bulkymon since it's been outclassed by Dusclops. But it does have its uses. In its best generation, Gen 4, it was used as a room setter paired with Destiny Bond, and that was its main usage. Sure, you'd slap on Taunt and Shadow Ball just for the hell of it, not to have just two moves. But yeah, it was Focus Sash to get the room up, and then Destiny Bond to hopefully take a Pokemon with it. It also wasn't able to be put to sleep due to its ability Insomniac, which obviously helps it fulfill its role a little better. This Trick Room team actually got it to be seen in the UU tier, but it never got Bayonet itself ranked as UU. Ever since then, its main usage has been as either a Pursuit Trapper or it's Mega Evolved and done its usual prankster shenanigans. Overall, it's not that great competitively, but it does have its uses in Nuzlocke. Even its Ghost typing alone makes it a great Pokemon on any Nuzlocker's team. And now that we can get a good look at Chucklana, I swear it made sense in the video. But yeah, we named it Chucklana, and we did have to use our Master Ball because I didn't want to pass up on the encounter, and actually it has rather high HP. And if you look here, I actually tried my best to calculate the base stats of Bayonet, but do keep in mind I don't know the IVs of Chucklana, so I just met in the middle and said 15 across the board, which, you know what, it's not the worst way to do it. But yeah, it turns out Chucklana has an insane base health stat, and you know, it's more of a special attacker than a physical attacker. It also has really low special defense, which, you know, I mean, I'm fine with, because the rest of its stats really aren't that bad. So hopefully we can get Shadow Ball, and our attack isn't even that bad either, so we can also run a mixed attacker. We were pretty unlucky with the ability though, because Illuminate, it has no in-battle effect, and outside of battle it just increases the likelihood of encountering wild Pokemon. So it's not very useful for us, but we are pretty lucky that it has Shadow Sneak, which is a priority move, and it also has Will-O-Wisp, which, if you didn't know, burning the enemy causes their moves to have, their physical moves at least, to have half the base power they usually have, so it's pretty useful. And we do end up just slapping a Shell Bell on Chucklana just so it has an item. And now we're at the part where I wasted like 10 minutes of my life trying to get an Eevee from the Battle Company, which, spoiler, the Battle Company does not give you an Eevee, so, I mean, I got an XP share at least. But yeah, I'm just gonna cut out where I did the whole Battle Company. Nothing interesting really happened. But yeah, I mean, I could have sworn you got a gift Eevee in this game, and I guess you get one from Fennel after you beat the champion. Maybe I was thinking of Blaze Black, probably a ROM hack is what I was thinking of, where you get an Eevee. But yeah, I mean, just a big waste of time. Well, anyway, after we wasted a good bit of time trying to get that gift Eevee that never existed, I do decide to get the final encounter of this episode, which is, you know, on this desert route. Almost spoiled it, but before we get the encounter, I actually go down to the water to see if we can get an item there. And, you know, there is. I swear, I get it mixed up. In the first game, there isn't an item down there, I'm pretty sure. So I always go down there to check, not sure if there's actually an item there. But we do get an encounter, glossing over that armor fossil, of course. We're not able to revive it until post-game. But we do end up running into a Trubbish. You know, I hate to say it because I love Trubbish, but this Pokemon is trash.
Yeah, you never know when something funny is gonna happen on this show.
Did something funny happen?
Yeah.
You'd never know it.
You know, as much as I like to make fun of Garbodor, its stats are actually not that terrible. I mean, it is a jack of all trades somewhat, master of none, but like its attack stat is respectable, and its defense and speed actually are not that bad as well, including its HP, of course. But I think its ability really brings it down, as well as its pure poison typing. Garbodor has 3 abilities: Stench, Weak Armor, and Aftermath. None of which are phenomenal abilities, especially Weak Armor, since Garbodor is primarily a bulky spike setter, which actually got it to be the highest competitively ranked Pokemon so far of this video, with it being in U tier since Black and White, and stopping in Sword and Shield, where it dropped to PU. Its most common set over the years is usually been Spikes plus Toxic Spikes plus Gunk Shot, and then usually either a coverage move or Pain Split for recovery. And I mentioned earlier how its typing was also a negative thing for it. Since it's a poison type, it can absorb Toxic Spikes, which is great because no more Toxic Spikes. But its poison typing also made it highly susceptible and weak to ground and psychic type moves, which were very common at the time in Inu. Unfortunately, we're not using it competitively, and it doesn't seem to be too great in a Nuzlocke, especially since it evolves into Garbodor at 36, which is a bit late, and you usually have better Pokemon by then. But really, we don't know yet, since we haven't been able to use it, but hey, it might surprise us in this playthrough. Anyway, we caught Garbage Man the Trubbish, and I'm sure you can tell why we named it that. And it's actually not that bad, because it's going to be good against fire types, especially with that heat-proof ability. And, you know, its stats aren't terrible, but its physical defense is awful. We do not want it to take a single physical attack, which means no, we are not bringing Garbage Man to the clay fight. And that's actually going to do it for this episode. This one did take quite a while to put together. mostly because I wanted to try new stuff and it took a few times to get it right. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy about this video. Anyway guys, if you like this type of video, like and subscribe and tell me in the comments. See ya.